you know, you look at where this thing is now, where you're sitting in. By the way, you guys got to get some women in here. We'll talk about that later. I'll look you up on that too. Maybe you hope, but your boy still has his stuff. But you know, the thing is, everything that you're doing down here in this, what some people would see as a basement office that you're doing. You know the stories. You guys are going to school. Most of you Husky. It's all about dreams over here at Huskyville. You know, people from all over the world come to this place. They somehow magically believe that these professors over there and this experience they're going to have is going to get them ready to go out in the world, and as they tell us when we walk across the stage, be able to tackle the world, to tackle the big issues, to be anything from an ambassador trying to bring world peace to the world, to being an engineer that's going to try to build bridges that will take people safely across them, to flying astronauts and flying people to the moon, to being a lawyer that wins the next big case and wins the seat on the Supreme Court. They teach you all of that inside of that school. And what they basically teach you is what Bill Clinton said. One time, I don't know what your political persuasions is, it doesn't matter, because what he said was, I still believe in a place where any kid with the love of their family, the support of their community, the grace and mercy of God, can grow up to be anything they want to be, including President of the United States. I still believe in a place called America, and I still believe in a place called Hope. Bill Clinton was from a place called Hope, Arkansas, and regardless of what he did, because I think he just blew probably the best chance of anybody that's ever been given. Bill Clinton was probably the last president that wasn't a millionaire going into office that we've ever seen in this country. It's becoming an elitist deal. You're going to have big, big money to pay for it. But I was reading a story about Clinton, and they were talking about how when one of the guys was sitting around at Jim McDougal's place down in Arkansas. Jim Guy Tucker was the governor who replaced Clinton when Clinton went from governor of Arkansas to president of the United States. This article was talking about a guy who had gotten killed, who committed suicide allegedly, and they said the Children of Hope returned to bury one of their own. And they talked about this guy who had killed himself, and that all of these people came back to Hope, Arkansas. Now, Hope, Arkansas is a town about 2,000 people in it. I'm from a town over in Pasco, 17,000 people in it when I was growing up. That wasn't the biggest thing. Bruce Keeson was the biggest thing to ever come out of Pasco. He pitched in the World Series, won a World Series game. Michael Jackson played for the Huskies and played at the Seahawks. He was from Pasco. Those are big guys. But so I did okay, but I'd go home and I was a big deal. Going into the beauty shop where my mom gets her hair done, and going into the grocery store. Oh, Miss Miles' son is home. Hey, how you doing, baby? How you doing? You know, and you see these people. I don't know. You guys may come from big cities. You may come from I come from a small town. So everybody knows you, and it's like you going to that university up there. They've never been to the university. They've only heard about it. But this boy, Nene, is home, and he goes to the University of Washington, and that's a big deal. And I would have been a big deal in Hope, Arkansas, major deal. Bill Clinton was from Hope, Arkansas, and he was the president. And what caught me about this article is Hope has 2,000 people. Bill Clinton was the president. Webster Hubbell was the secretary, was the secretary of the CIA. Hillary Clinton was the first lady of the United States. His White House, Mac McClarty, was chief of staff to the president of the United States. Out of the 7 people they named that were key advisors and confidants to the president of the United States, what was amazing is all 7 of them came from Hope. From this little podunk-ass town, 7 people who any one of them would have had, if you're from a small town, you know how when you come into town and it goes, you know, welcome to Sandpoint, home of the 1974 world, you know, state champion baseball team. Any one of them would have had their name. They had 7 people
people from one town who were in there. So I read this article in Newsweek, and it was talking about how they got there. And they talked about how one night Bill Clinton was sitting around the table, and he talked about the charisma and the magnetism of Bill Clinton, and how he sit there and he was talking about, you know what? He said, we can run the world from here. And I said, yeah. They're all sitting around having some beers, and he said, we can. And so they thought it was just bullshit. And he said, wait a minute. He said, you're one of the best lawyers in the world of Webster Hubbell. Why shouldn't you be the head of my CIA? He said, and if I was the president, Jim, why wouldn't you take over as governor? You know this state. You know all of these people. And they started looking at him, and they're like, shit, this guy's kind of, he's whacking, Then all of a sudden he started going down the line, and he said, and you could do this. And he looked at Hillary, and he said, you're the smartest person I know. You could be the first lady of the United States. And Matt, you've been my boy since high school. You could win. Nobody's smarter than you. You be my chief of staff. And they said that after about 10 minutes, they actually started believing they could win, and they could change the world from hope. And he kept saying, let's just give hope to the rest of the world. What we know here in this room. Those guys with the Harvard degrees and the Yale Law degrees, they ain't so much smarter than us. They put their pants on one leg at a time just like we do. What do we got that they don't have? Nothing. We've got everything that they have. The United States, one of the most powerful men in the world. I say that to say this. You're sitting in this basement today. The things that God has for you in your life and the things that you will do, you don't even know today. The pitch smarter, turning into A to Z, taking it bigger. The number of kids who you're going to change their lives because of a video someone sees when a parent calls a coach at Stanford or Harvard or the University of Washington, who lives in Hump Tulips, who never would have had any exposure, is going to call a Tyrone Willingham or Joe Paterno and say, look at my kid's video. And that kid's going to leave Hump Tulips, and he's going to become something at that university like Nene did at the University of Washington. He's going to do something that's going to change this world because he saw a portal that you guys helped create that changed the world. There's going to be a kid who has Tommy John surgery in his future right now that will probably mess up his career because he's got parents that don't know how to train him in the right way. But they have high hopes for him, but they don't know how to train him. But they're going to watch something on this deal that's going to prevent that kid from tearing his rotator cuff, and he may make it to the pros. And he may be the one in his family who brings them and who breaks the cycle of welfare and poverty and becomes a world-class pitcher and becomes pro, and with a signing bonus takes his mom out of that trailer court they live in and buys her a house and pimps his ride, and they start making it for a change. When you look at all of the stuff you're going to do, you are the generation, you are the group that's going to change the lives of parents whose kids search the internet now because they have nothing to do, and they get on the wrong sites, and they get tied up in porn, they get tied up in some of these other things that they just can't get away from, and now they have some place to go. That is a community of people who believe like them, who believe Lil Junior, who wasn't the star of the team, but he was still pretty good, and he saw himself on there, and he believed enough in himself, and his parents believed, and they sent it out to different people, and he started believing. And it changes the life and the world of so many. And even if it doesn't change the world, even if it doesn't change the entire world, if it changes this kid's life and the believing that he's not a loser, but he or she can actually be a good tennis player or a good lacrosse player, you think about what you guys have done. And that's not even, I don't even want to talk about how it's going to change your lives. Because if we hit it like I think we can hit it in this deal, the Google guys sat around in basements like this. The Microsoft guys sat around days on end. They know who was the number one, the number two, the number three employee at Microsoft. They all have numbers stamped on their head because they remember the days like this, where they sat in the basement and at some point of Chris driving you all night, because this guy will drive your butt all night if you sit up and let him, because he understands, because it's in him. It's in him to be a winner. And turning this team into a winner and turning all of you guys into a winner and understanding the magnitude of what you is, have as much fun as you can while you're building this deal. Because these are the funnest days of your life. Because you're going to be in a position one day where when somebody gives you a stock option that you don't even understand today, the difference a $2 or $3 million stock option, set of options can do to change your lives, the lives of your parents, the lives of your brothers and sisters and cousins and nephews that you don't even know, the lives of kids that you're going to give a scholarship to in your name at your high school or your junior high where you went to school, and some kids are going to come out and do it. You're going to say, I remember this night sitting here, and this guy came in and he told me about being able to do this, because you are doing something great, and you are standing on the cusp of doing some really, really great things, because you are taking care of children. In the African culture we have, there's a proverb that when you come into another village, you don't say, how you doing? You say, are the children well? Because the sign of any society, how well a society is doing, is how the kids are doing. Because the kids are the next generation. That is the life of that village. So are the children well? And what I'm here to tell you guys here at A to Z, you are making the children well. They're going to have health on this site, how children can get better health and nutrition, taking care of their bodies and doing the things, getting exercise, getting the right things in their mind that says there's more to sports than just winning. It's all about life, and using this thing to be not a portal to new sports sites, but being a portal to life and the things that you turn them on to. It's going to just be amazing what you can do when you stop to think about it. Don't stop long, because your work, you got a lot of work. This business goes that fast, and it's just changing every day. But when we build what we have going here and we plug into what's going on, the world will come here. The real said, you build a better mousetrap, they will beat a path to your door. They will find out where their door is. I can bet you there's probably already some people that know where that door is. You'd be surprised who doesn't know and who hasn't hit that site and said, what in the hell are these guys doing? Because, see, there are no more sneak attacks. There's no more Googles, MySpace, YouTube. There's no more sneak attacks. The money now knows that these things work. So they're looking for the next best one that's out now. They've got some private investigators. They got industrial espionage spies that are out there looking for the next best one now. And here it is, sitting right here in this deal, that one day when these guys look up and it's on the scene and it's doing what it's supposed to be doing and it's changing life, it's on the mouth, it's on the lips of every parent, of every kid, of every little league coach, of every soccer coach, of every team captain that's out there, of every college scout, of athletes, of pro agents who are going to be looking for the next kid coming up, because they're just getting younger and younger and younger and younger and younger. From rivals all the way down now, we're taking it even further now. This is where it starts at. And you'll look back on this day. So take good pictures. Get good memories, because when you're telling your kids one day, when they say, Daddy, how did you, and you start to tell them, you know, Hunter and I were over, hanging out at the Graham Sunday night doing burgers again, and it was just one more night. And that's how it starts for all of the big guys. That's how it starts in this room. And it'll only take off, and it'll only get, as a buddy of mine says, it'll only get gooder and gooder. So enjoy it now. Thanks for letting me come in, you guys. I appreciate everything that you're doing. Chris keeps me up to date on what's going on. We stay together on what's happening. We were meeting with, Harvard MBAs last night talking about East Pop. Yes. I mean, us. Here's this guy that was in the internet, started internet companies, CFO for big internet, over with some of the guys we're talking to. The Pete's of the world, and over at Microsoft. He saw it. He saw it. He knows it. And here he is sitting with a guy, 23-year-old guy, telling him, this is what I'm thinking about doing, and he's like, yeah, that's the deal. He blew my phone up as soon as we get in the park. Like, oh, boy, did you see these guys are on it, these guys are on it. They know. He knows. This is it. This is the real deal, guys. You're going to be teaching these classes. What these guys down the street are trying to teach you about, you're living it. You're living it. You're the next Harvard business case.
scary, huh? Shit, you thought you were going to be holding in a suit and everything else before you write. You're writing history today. Tonight. You're doing it. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. It's not about theory anymore. You're living this deal. You are living everybody's dream. You know, there ain't no resume, ain't no applying. You will never apply for a job again in your life. For whatever reason. I mean, you'll probably start your own company. You'll probably, someone will call you and say, will you come be my CEO of this? Will you come be the executive vice president of technology for me? And this? Yeah, you probably do that. You won't interview anymore. You know, shit, somebody send me your resume, you'll send them a cover of, you know, one of the top tech magazines, tell them to hit your site. You know, I don't know, I was probably written up in the Wall Street Journal. You can probably go to that. They'll tell you, your background. Yeah, I don't have a resume. Never had. Chris didn't ask me for one. My first job, you know. That's just the way it starts to work. And, you know, I mean, just, you know, I guess Donald Trump has a resume if he had to find one, but, you know, he probably hadn't seen it in a while. So that's what you're living, and that's what you're setting yourself up for. So blow this deal open, fellas. Let's knock this deal out of the box. Take no prisoners. While it's great to sit here and go, yeah, we got this deal, know that they're just right on your ass every day. If I can't tell you anything else, I'll leave you with what they told me when I first got into corporate America and started hitting at the big boy level. They said every day in the jungle, two animals wake up. The gazelles wake up and the lions wake up. The gazelle knows that the slowest gazelle knows that he must be faster than the fastest lion. He can be the slowest gazelle, but he's got to be faster than the fastest lion. Otherwise, he's going to get his ass eaten. And when they wake up in the morning, the lions know that they're counting on the fastest lion, that he has to be faster than the slowest gazelle. Otherwise, none of them are going to eat, and they're all starved to death. So as they told us when I came into the big league, just remember, it doesn't matter if you're a lion or a gazelle. Just know every morning when the sun come up, your black ass better be running full tilt. So what you do, whether you try to eat or prevent getting eaten, you need to be running full tilt. That's why you're working at the rate, at the pace you guys are doing right now, because you got some lions on your ass right now, and all you want to do is make it till sundown. Till tomorrow, you do it again. Thank you guys, I appreciate it.